YouTuber?
I have my channel,
Oh, you.
but not so popular. Okay, so today I will tell some story about Jacob, and Jacob's life is very dynamic, but sometimes very hard. Okay, the country Israel. Israel has a history of more than 4,000 years. The first first Jewish man was Abraham. The name Abraham is very popular all over the world now. For example, do you know any Abraham? Abraham Lincoln. And he is maybe the most famous Abraham in the history. Yeah, but the original Abraham is the first man of Israelite Jewish people. From him, Abraham, his son Isaac, and the famous Isaac person is Isaac Newton, like that. And next one is Jacob. Jacob is a third generation from Abraham. And Jacob had an elder brother. His name was Esau. Jacob was younger brother. And they were twins, but Esau was elder brother. And in the old days, elder brother, the eldest one, could inherit all the wealth, money, or property. All of them should go to the eldest one, Esau. But Jacob wanted to have the blessing and right of eldest one, so he made some sort of the trap, and he took the right of Esau, right of eldest son from Esau, and he got a blessing from his father. Actually, the blessing was not things or wealth or money, not like that. The blessing was prayer, the blessing prayer. His father, Isaac prayed for Jacob, and Jacob deceived Esau, told a lie to Esau, and Jacob took the right of eldest son. So Esau was very angry at him, and he tried to kill him. So his mother, not Rachel, his mother was Rebecca. His mother Rebecca released him to her brother, and Esau left his family and to his uncle, whose name is Laban, to his uncle, and he stayed there. And then he stayed there and he worked for 20 years in his uncle's farm. For 20 years, no salary. And he worked for 20 years. But he married, in those days, 2 wives. And each wife had a servant, lady, girl. So those 4 married Jacob. Jacob had 4 wives. Now, Muslim people, Muslim country, they can have 4 wives. And can you imagine 4 wives?
Well, I'm
Actually, in Muslim countries, the person who can marry 4 wives can be only a rich guy. Of course, because he has to take care of 4 families. And when he married Jacob over there, and he was working for his uncle for 20 years. But he married, and from four wives, he had 11 children. When he married with the wives, that was the 7th year of his working. So that means 20 years he was working, 7 years he was single, and 13 years he was married. In 13 years, he got 11 children. He had 11 children. Do you want to have 11 children?
No, I don't. Well, as you said, well, the love is grown.
Yeah.
But I focus on to the one.
Yeah, I told you.
So well, I don't want to do that.
Okay, great. You listened to my message very well last time. Yeah, the love should be concentrated. Okay. But anyway, he did. He did. Actually, he lived Rachel, the younger sister. He loved Rachel, but his uncle deceived him, lied to him, and he had to have another sister, the other sister. So he had 2 wives, but those 2 wives, they competed to have children, each other. The elder sister had 4 babies. The younger sister, I want baby more. and she got 1, but she could not enough, so she asked her servant to sleep with Jacob, and they had 2 babies. And another sister had 1 servant and had 2 babies. So Jacob was very, should be very tired, I think. So because he had to take care of 11 children in 13 years, and 2 wives, and 2 ladies from their wives. So actually he had 4 wives. So, and one day God told him to go back to your homeland, to your hometown. But in his hometown, the guy is a problem. His older brother Esau is a problem. So he was a little afraid. But God talked to him, you don't have, I will, you go back to your hometown and I am with you. God promised him. And so I think he believed and he went back to his hometown. But just before his homeland, there was a river. And in the river, there was the place which was called Jabbok here. Jabbok was a shallow and narrow river point. So he was there, and he thought, I should send spies first. And he sent some spies to the other land. And the spies found his brother there. His brother was waiting for Jacob with 400 men. What do you think?
Well, he's going to try to kill him.
Yeah, he will kill me. Maybe he thought that he would kill me. He would kill him. So, and he separated his belongings, his properties. At first, he sent goats and sheep because the brother can find, and he wanted to give those goats and sheep to his brother as a gift. And then he sent cows and oxen, male cow and female cow. He sent, and he wanted to feel his brother ease and kind. So he tried to do that. And then he sent his wives and children not he. And I don't know why he did like that. But anyway, there was a river here. And they sent to the other land. And he was left. It was at night, alone. What did he think? I'm not sure. Maybe he was praying, or maybe he was thinking, what should I do? If I do wrong, I might be killed. So he was thinking like that. Then someone came to him and wrestled. It was God in the Bible. It was God. And God wrestled with him. But he didn't. God, of course, God can hit him, can strike him, and God can win against Jacob, but in the Bible, Jacob did not give up. Jacob fought against God. But maybe God was waiting for him. He should give up. He should give up. But he didn't. And he fought and fought until the daybreak, until the morning. So, in the Bible, it is written in the short story, but maybe God said to him, wait, Jacob. Hey, Jacob, we fought until the daybreak, until morning, but you do not give up. So, take a break. So, God hit his leg, and his socket was released, and he could not move. And then the God tried to leave him, but Jacob asked him, "What is your name?" Jacob noticed he was God or not. I'm not sure, but give his name, and maybe he thought that it is not just a man. It was a precious person, precious one. So he asked his name, but he didn't reply his name. And he said to him, "I will bless you." And he blessed Jacob, and he left. And not only blessing, but also he gave Jacob another name, Israel. It's Israel in this modern day, Israel. So this is the origin of the name of Israel, of the country. So now I want to think about before wrestling with God, Jacob's insight, Jacob's heart was, I think, like this: afraidness, fear, hatred. Maybe he was hated, but hatred was also there. But then God came to him, and he wrestled with God. When you wrestle, what do you think? Have you wrestled with your friend?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes. Have you wrestled with your friend? Man does, actually. Sometimes I played with my friend, and just pat him and hit me against, and I striking me more and hit me more again, and I tried to kick him and he kicked me until we start to wrestle. Yeah, like that. How was your case?
Well, I don't remember clearly,
Yeah.
But well, we just played with friends. Then, well, I was really into going to survival game.
Yeah. Survival game.
That kind of toy.
Yeah. Yeah.
So well, we did such a survival game with
Survival
friends.
game.
Then we wrestled.
Really?
Yeah.
So it was magic now. Serious fight. But for my case, we were just playing, but we started wrestle. And we continued 1 hour. 1 hour. Yeah, because wrestling is you have to put your shoulders 3 seconds. That's the meaning of the victory. So I wrestled with actually Onoda-kun. I was 19 years old, adult, 19 years college student. We were college student, but we wrestled in the room like this. My room was a Japanese room, so tatami downstairs and nothing because futon and so on were in the closet. So open space was there, 8 tatami space, 8 tatami space. So we started to wrestle, and 1 hour we continued, got set, and well, we should finish, and we finished. It was draw. No win, no lose. It was draw. But when we are wrestling, we forget everything, anything. Yeah. Maybe you can understand. When we wrestle, we have to continue to fight, and we don't think anything. So maybe during wrestling with God, Jacob could forget these afraidness, fear, hatred, because wrestling we cannot think. Could you think something? No.
I can't.
Just I need to I need to win. Only that. So maybe I think Jacob was wrestling and he was continuing until the morning. Maybe he forgot all these things. He forgot. So, and in the last, the God broke his leg, and then he gave up. He gave up because he could not move anymore. He gave up. So he gave up, and he actually giving up in front of God is like this. Sometimes we try to show this. Sometimes we try to when we face some difficulties, problems, we try to solve those problems by our own idea, by our own effort, by our own maybe money or something. We try to solve for ourselves, by ourselves. But in front of God, sometimes we have to give up. Actually, in the real life, in our life, our power, our strength is limited. Maybe sometimes we fail in study, we fail in business, we fail in relationship, we fail in marriage. Then we try to do something, but we have nothing to do anymore. Not anything to do, we cannot do. So then we stop and we look up God, and like Jacob, bless me, help me. And only God we can ask. And then Jacob, that is a self-decision. That is, he decided to give up for himself. Before that, Jacob was always fighting against someone. And actually Jacob was smart, so sometimes he could do well. But after the success, after the doing good, but he fails time to time. He failed. So he had to decide for himself that I need to give up in front of God. That is very difficult for human beings, for us. But sometimes we need to do that because of the difficulties are too big. So then God blessed Jacob and left. So his promise was there. His promise was, I am always with you. And he remembered his promise. And then he went across the river. By at the place of Jabbok. And then the result was okay. But if you have Bible, you read Genesis chapter 33. He was caught by the negative feelings, but after that, after wrestling with God, his all negative feelings were all solved. No problem anymore. So after that, his life has changed a lot. So sometimes we feel difficulties in our lives, then we can wrestle with God. That is a good way. Wrestle with God. Not real wrestle, but we can ask God, why? Why, God? I failed in study, I failed in business, I failed in relationship, I failed in my marriage. Wrestle with God. And then we forget our afraidness, fear, hatred. Then God gives you another idea, inspiration, and you can go forward. Jacob did like that. So, thank you very much. The YouTube stop. さよなら。どうやって止めればいいんだろう。あ、これか。